In January of 2025, James Charles thought he was about to lose his job. TikTok was hours away from being banned, and James, who had spent years rebuilding his entire career on that app, sat down on his bed and recorded this.
I'm just really scared that I'm not going to be able to find you guys, wherever we do end up going. This sucks. This fucking sucks.
He was genuinely emotional with the idea of losing his platform, and you could see it broke him down a little. Now keep that image in your head, because 16 months later, a woman who had just lost her job sent him a DM asking if he could donate to her GoFundMe. She was a flight attendant after her airline had gone bankrupt overnight, where 17,000 people were suddenly out of work. She just figured he has money, so what's the worst that could happen? She found out.
You know what else would help you? Getting another job. Yeah, try that! Because in the time that it took you to copy and paste the same fuck-ass message, you could have applied for 100 other jobs, but you didn't because you're a lazy piece of shit and you're entitled. Why would I ever help you? Why would I fucking help you? This bitch, you lost your fucking job? What are we gonna do? Nothing!
He's since lost multiple millions of followers, and for the first time in his career, people are saying the cycle might finally be breaking. I'm in Dart, and as always, make sure to subscribe with notifications on. To understand what's happening right now with James Charles and why everyone suddenly turned against him, you need to go back to the beginning. Because what looks like a series of separate scandals is actually one continuous story. And once you see the shape of it, you can't unsee it. Back in 2016, James Charles became famous almost by accident. He was a 17-year-old kid from upstate New York who took a photo of himself in full makeup and posted it online. The photo went so viral that an iconic makeup brand, CoverGirl, saw it and made him their first ever male brand ambassador. Within 2 years, he had millions of subscribers, a Met Gala invite, and more money than most people see in a lifetime, all before he was old enough to rent a car. He had essentially gone from a bedroom in New York to the top of the beauty world without ever having to survive anything. And that detail matters more than people realize. Because his first real test came in May 2019, where Tati Westbrook, the woman who had mentored James and helped build his career, posted a 43-minute video titled "Bye Sister." In it, she accused James of disloyalty.
You sold out me, but you threw away our friendship, but you lied to me.
Using his fame to pursue straight men.
Oh my god, you tried to trick a straight man into thinking he's gay yet again, and somehow you're the victim. You are using your fame, your power, your money to play with people's emotions.
And of caring more about himself than anyone else around him.
When you can't have any emotion for the other person who loves you so much, and all you're caring about is your image, I'm not okay with that.
As a result, the internet moved in minutes. He lost over 1.26 million subscribers in a single day, which ended up being the most subscribers ever lost in a 24-hour period. Therefore, brand deals evaporated, and it looked like it was over. However, here's the part most people don't know. A year later, Tati came back online and said she'd been manipulated into making the video.
And I allowed myself to be worked by Shane, Jeffrey, and others.
She alleged that Jeffree Star and Shane Dawson, who both had financial reasons to want James gone, had fed her lies and pushed her to go public, and eventually she called it
one of the biggest regrets of my life.
Whether or not you fully believe Tati's story, what's undeniable is that James recovered. He came back in June 2019, only a month after everything collapsed, where he posted a Pride makeup tutorial and slowly started rebuilding. The internet moved on, and he survived. But then, in February 2021, Something happened that had nothing to do with beauty drama or business rivalries. A 16-year-old named Isaiah posted a video to TikTok claiming that James Charles had sent him unsolicited explicit messages and asked him for nude photos even after he had told James he was 16.
So after sending me that first picture of his body, explicitly, he sent me multiple after that, and I'll post them now. I was getting really uncomfortable, so I told him my age. I told him I'm 16. Meanwhile, he's 21. He's a grown man.
Isaiah had shared screenshots, with one of them showing James saying, "I wish the timeline could speed up so you can be 18. James's initial response was a Notes app statement where he said Isaiah had lied about his age and that he had no idea he was a minor. Isaiah then pointed out that his TikTok bio had said he was 16 the entire time. That first accusation then opened the floodgates. Over the following weeks, around 16 different men had came forward with stories, 10 of whom were underage. YouTube temporarily demonetized his channel, while his subscriber count continued to bleed. And on April 1st, of all days, he posted a 14-minute video titled "Holding Myself Accountable," where he admitted the conversations shouldn't have happened.
It sucks, and it is ridiculously embarrassing to admit this, but I think I have to, and that is that I'm desperate.
And announced he would ask to see ID from anyone he spoke to romantically going forward.
I also have already started asking for proper identification from every single guy that has either reached out or that I was speaking to, and will continue doing so for the rest of time.
He took 90 days off, then he came back and started posting again. Simultaneously, the internet moved on, and he survived once more. 2 years after that, he gave an interview to Cosmopolitan with the headline, "James Charles would like to be uncancelled, please." In it, he said something to himself worth sitting with. "Okay babe, this is your fault. No, you're not a pedophile. No, you're not an effing groomer. No, you're not a predator, but you made a big mistake." That was his public framing of the most serious allegation of his career. A very big mistake. He also described the week after his apology video as one of the darkest times of his life. But here's what he didn't say in that interview. That he'd already started his next move. Because while all of this was going on, James was doing something very deliberate. He had run out of road on YouTube. Anyone who knew the platform knew his history, so he turned his attention to TikTok and planted himself right at the center of it. He started making videos with the Hype House, which featured celebrities like Charli D'Amelio, Addison Rae, Dixie D'Amelio, and Noah Beck. All of these people who were brand new to the internet and had never heard of James Charles had no idea about his previous allegations and therefore didn't know his history at all. For them, James Charles was just this big YouTuber who wanted to collab, and he was somebody who knew how the industry worked. He didn't rebuild his reputation, he simply found people who didn't know it was damaged. By 2025, he had nearly 40 million followers on TikTok, putting him higher up than celebrities like Taylor Swift. He had launched a makeup brand called Painted, while he was also doing sponsorships and brand deals. James Charles had pulled off one of the most complete platform pivots in influencer history, and then, almost exactly a year after the TikTok ban scare, everything started to unravel once again. In April 2025, a 20-year-old TikToker named Kayla Malek posted a 2-hour video series called "He Doesn't Love You." In this, she described 9 months of what she said was severe physical and emotional abuse at the hands of her ex-boyfriend, a content creator named Evan Johnson. She included photos of her injuries and detailed timelines of specific incidents. Evan was arrested in Tennessee on domestic assault charges. He eventually pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 18 months in prison. What made this story intersect with James Charles was what came out in the weeks that followed. James Charles had often commented on Kayla's videos mentioning how attractive Evan was. Nonetheless, Kayla explained that those comments didn't necessarily bother her at the time. But then, it turned out, Evan and James had formed a friendship while Kayla's case was still active, and while she was still speaking out publicly, James had flown Evan out to his house in LA. When the story broke, James texted Kayla and admitted he had lied to her about it, writing, "I lied to you, and I shouldn't have. I've felt guilty for weeks, but I didn't know how to tell you." He posted a video saying he'd been manipulated by Evan and that he didn't know the full extent of what had happened.
I was embarrassed for ever believing that man's lies and manipulation, and I was angry with myself that I ever allowed that man into my home.
But Kayla said that wasn't true and that she had told him directly. James Charles lost over 700,000 followers in a matter of days. And then, shortly after, the video that we mentioned in the intro released to the public. The woman, who had just lost her job, sent James a DM asking if he could donate to her GoFundMe after her airline had gone bankrupt overnight. She simply thought, what's the worst that could happen? Although she probably wasn't expecting this.
You know what else would help you? Getting another job. Yeah, try that. Because in the time that it took you to copy and paste the same fuck-ass message, you could have applied for 100 other jobs, but you didn't because you're a lazy piece of shit and you're entitled. Why would I ever help you? Why would I fucking help you? This bitch, you lost your fucking job? What are we gonna do? Nothing!
Now, here's what's interesting about this timeline. The Evan Johnson situation got some coverage, but it didn't explode the way you'd expect it to for a creator with 40 million followers. Partly because it was complicated, as there were two sides, and the fact that there was also legal context. However, the Spirit Airlines video was different. James directly posted it himself. You could watch it, and you could hear his tone, see him laughing, and watch him mock someone for being unemployed while sitting in his robe in a mansion at midday. And here's the thing about the timing. The people watching that video, as of today, are already dealing with one of the worst job markets in a generation. The Spirit Airlines bankruptcy alone had put 17,000 people out of work in an instant. They didn't need to be told why the video was wrong. They felt it. Influencers started calling him out directly, mentioning details like,
I don't think James has ever had a real job. I don't think he's ever had a job that isn't social media.
Celebrities like Trisha Paytas said she despises him more than any other creator and would collab with literally everyone else first.
I hate him. I hate him. I hate him. And there's no redemption for him.
Therefore, the internet didn't fight about whether to believe him this time. There was simply nothing to debate. What followed was the most documented damage control cycle of James Charles's career. First apology, deleted. He essentially said the video was harsh, but stood by the general point.
Oh my god, give me a fucking break. Welcome to the real world. It's fucking hard out there. Nobody owes anybody anything. The universe will constantly remind you of that. I stand behind what I said, 10 toes down.
Second apology, also deleted. This one more contrite. He said he was wrong, privileged, and sorry, but it didn't really do much.
This video was fucking stupid. It was rude, it was obnoxious, it was privileged, and most importantly, it was completely fucking unnecessary.
The third apology, which was the big one, was posted 2 weeks later. This time he admitted that the backlash was what made him realize the video was wrong, and that when he first posted it, he saw no problem with it.
When I first posted this video, clearly I didn't see a problem with it. It embarrassingly did take people making videos and me getting hate comments and backlash to actually take a step back, put myself in check, and realize what I said here is not okay, and now I need to educate myself as to why.
He also announced the Painted Project, which was a new charity where $250,000 of his own money was going towards things like emergency relief funding. He found the original woman, Amber, who had asked him for the donation and sent $500 under his real name, James Dickinson, seemingly hoping no one would notice. Then other influencers found the page and started donating way more than him publicly, making the $500 look incredibly small, so he went back and quietly donated another $5,000. Amber, whose GoFundMe had by this point raised over $40,000 thanks to the attention, posted her own response. She read his private apology on camera, where this legendary clip played next.
I know another question on here is, do I accept his apology? So I'm just gonna answer it right together. Hell no.
He's since lost over 1 million followers in the last fortnight on TikTok, upwards of 10,000 daily on Instagram, his worst performing months ever on YouTube. It's looking pretty unlikely James Charles will be able to make a comeback anytime soon.